There we go. All righty. Well, thank you all so much. Again, my name is Walisha Wilson. I'm the founder of New Life Second Chance Outreach. Thank you all so much for taking an hour and a half on your Saturday to come out and join this event. We have a guest speaker here, Noble Potts. He is an investor. He is my mentor and has really worked with me on my journey in the last couple of months. I started, I think, maybe the first or second day of January, because it was my New Year's resolution to actually start investing. And by the work that we do here at New Life, we work only with individuals in Georgia who are directly impacted by criminal conviction. Not all of them have been incarcerated, but the majority of them have been. And so a lot of times we get a lot of challenges because we have felonies. And so we want to be able to educate those that we serve on different ways of being able to pull themselves up out of poverty. And one of those things is actually by investing. But you have to know how to invest and what to invest in and how to get started. And so this is a part of one of our financial wellness series. We will actually have another one coming up on April 1st that'll talk about how to bank and manage your money. But this is one of the first of many financial type wellness type series that we're going to have. And so at this point in time, I will have Noble, whenever you're ready to come on, I'll drop like a tentative what we're going to be discussing and kind of talking about. But throughout this, we're going to touch on what is investing, why should we be investing, how to get started investing, and the different types of things that people invest in, including stocks, bonds, crypto, and retirement accounts. But a lot of it will be focused more on the crypto, stocks, foreign exchange. So we're hoping that you have any questions. If you have any questions, just put them in the chat. And once we get to the last part, it's 3:30. We're going to start doing the Q&A probably about 4:15, 4:30. And all those questions we will answer in the order that they came in. But feel free to put them in the chat so you won't forget them. And we'll make sure we ask them in order. And also, if you remain here to the end of the event, we will go ahead and at the winner we'll get a gift card, and we'll make sure we get it emailed to you, but you have to stay until 5 o'clock. So with no more hesitation, we'll welcome Noble Potts to the
What's
platform.
up, family? What's going on? First off, man, shout out to Miss Wilson. It's been such a pleasure, man, linking up with you, and being able, to do all we can just to impact, and be able to get information to the doorsteps, of people that really can use it and really want to apply it, in the best way possible. So please, flowers to you, ma'am, for all that you're doing in the community and with this particular organization that you have. Guys, I've been, as Ms. Wilson said, I've been an investor for quite some time. I'm not an expert at anything, but I've got a lot of experience in different realms of financial literacy. I've been a financial advisor before, for a few years. I've been investing in multiple different avenues, within the market, within the economy for quite some time. But I've also had great mentors along the way as it relates to investing and what to do with your money, right? And I think that the best place to start this conversation is really, around, okay, why should I invest, right? Like, what is investing? Like, why should I even be thinking about this? Some years ago, I had the same question, right? My mother and I had other people telling me about, yeah, man, you gotta invest, right? Why? Because you're looking to retire one day. I don't think anybody wants to work, right, until that last day. So the goal is, right, you gotta begin to learn what to do with your money today so that it can work for you in ways to start generating, right, a kind of income that will continue on even when you choose to what? Stop working, right? And that's the goal of investing, right? The goal of investing is how can I attach myself, or how can I apply, my money, whereas I'm putting it into a vehicle, and this vehicle is going to help my money grow even if I'm physically not touching it, right? Does that make sense? The vehicle is working for you, right? Your money is working for you. I tell everybody your money is an employee, right? It's an employee of you, And with that being said, you have the opportunity, right, to invest it in a way where it will either continue to work for you or it will start working for somebody else, right? And that's the goal, right? That's the importance of investing. But how do you start, right? Well, the first point I believe is you got to understand how to begin creating the discipline so that you can actually take advantage of investing, right? We all have income coming in, and there are three types of income. If you want to start taking notes, there are three types of income, and I've learned this directly from Robert Kiyosaki. If anybody's ever gone to YouTube, Robert Kiyosaki has a actual podcast. It's called Rich Dad Poor Dad podcast. It's a great podcast to watch to really begin to understand money. Now I know we only have right 45 minutes here, so I will touch on a few things he talks about, but not everything. But I want to give you reference. But there are three types of money. You got earned income. What is earned income? Right? Earned income is your ability to make money right through a what? Through a job. Right? You have portfolio income. And we're going to talk a little bit about portfolio income today. What is portfolio income? That's when you're getting money through investments like stocks, like bonds, right? Your 401k, 403b. That's portfolio income, right? But the ultimate goal for anybody as an investor, he says, is you want to get to passive income, right? You want to get to passive income. Why? Because that's the kind of income that when it actually goes from where it is to your pocket, it bypasses the tax system, right? And guys, I could do a whole conversation around taxes, right? But you want to begin to learn these incomes, right? So I'm giving you things that as you take from this, go and start doing your research on these things, right? Because the ultimate goal is you want to begin to choose investments that are in the passive income bracket, right? Right? That's the importance, okay? Now, right, risk. A lot of people ask me, well, Noble, before I even take this thing on, like, is it going to be too risky? I don't want to lose money, right? How many people have thought that, right? I don't want to lose money as an investor. Well, listen, Robert Kiyosaki talks about that the only risk, the biggest risk in investing is you, right? The biggest risk in investing is the individual investor. Why? Because a lot of people choose to invest without the knowledge, right? Financial education is something that you have to invest in, right? So I love the fact that, Mrs. Wilson, started off by showing the Wall Street Trapper. There are a lot of programs out here that people are out here teaching this stuff. Leverage one, right? Find one that you're comfortable with, right? And find a program that's going to break down the basics of investing, okay? All right. Now, as an investor, let's jump into some type of vehicles that are out there. And here's where some of your questions might start coming up, right? Because the idea is okay, now that I understand I want to invest, what type of vehicles are out there for me to invest in? Okay. The first thing you want to do is recognize one thing, right? Never subject all of your investments to risk. Okay, what I mean by that is, right, the stock market, cryptocurrency, right? A lot of these things that we're going to talk about today, right? There is a risk associated with it in terms of how the market fluctuates, which in turn will be how your right account will fluctuate, right? But you don't want to subject all of your money, right, to right all of that risk. So what I say is first, you got to identify what your bucket of money is for investing. Every month there should be a bucket of money that you identify as your investment bucket. You have to, okay? Because this is going to be how you develop discipline to ensure it continues every month. Now, I don't know if anybody on this call has, someone to help them with a budget or anything like that, but here's a rule of thumb. All right. This is something that was taught to me, you guys. When it comes to beginning the road of investing and you want to identify, right, the monies you're going to use, right? Number one, your expenses should never go above 70% of your income. All right. Your expenses that you have out the month should never go above 70% of your income. And if it is today, we got to figure out how to adjust that, right? Because a lot of times people say, I don't have money to invest. That's not the case, right? What it is that we don't have, we might be outliving, right, the ability to invest based on what we have, right? Our lifestyle doesn't match our income. So you want to make sure that you do that, okay? You, yes, I'm good. Sorry, y'all. My dog is back here going crazy. But you definitely want to make sure you do that, okay? Now, what vehicles are out there you can invest in? Guys, a lot of people, you heard the Wall Street trappers talk about the stock market, right? The stock market is a great vehicle to invest in, right? As he said, right, when you invest in the stock market, you're really beginning to take ownership in a company, right? You're taking ownership, in a company, right? But I want to talk about exactly how to get started, because a lot of people don't understand how to evaluate these companies when they're investing in the stock market. All right. So first and foremost, I want you to write these things down. Okay, so you're looking to get started in the stock market. All right, and you're trying to figure out what companies to invest in. Okay, here's the kind of research you can do on these companies, right, to begin to know which one makes more sense, is more valuable over time. Right, number one, you want to start first gathering some of their stock material. Okay, that's the first thing you want to do. All right, we're going to talk about other things, but you first want to gather their stock material. What is that? When you go to the website of any company, right, there's always a part of the website called investors, right? Under the investor tab, right, you'll be able to look up their SEC filings, right? Because these companies have to file certain documents with the SEC. So when you actually do that, you can look up two reports. One is a 10K, the other is a 10Q, right? The 10K is the annual report of that company that they have to file every year to the SEC. The 10Q are their quarterly filings. Okay. Now, when you find these documents, that's when you want to go a little bit deeper. Now, don't read these documents alone, but this is a document that houses all the information you need about these companies, right? What do you want to start looking at? Number one, you want to start looking at their net income, right? You want to look at their overall revenue, that they're doing. You want to start looking at things like the price earnings ratio, right? Now, I hope these are things you're writing down, right? Because this is going to allow you to learn a lot about that company. What is the price earnings ratio? That's by dividing the current stock by the earnings per share, right? But you'll learn all this stuff as you're doing your research, right? But these are a few things that you can look at in that report to start seeing, right, where this company, like how do they look on paper, right? Does that make sense? All right. Now, the third thing you're going to do is do qualitative research. All right. Now, what does that mean? Okay, qualitative research. What that means is that you're going to actually then begin to go to their website. You're going to learn about the company. You're going to learn about the management team, who's involved in the management team. Warren Buffett actually said a quote in terms of, we all know Warren Buffett, he's the most prolific investor of our time. He said, listen, buy into a company because you want to own it, not because you just want the stock to go up, right? So what he's saying is that when you're buying into that company, if you want to own it, don't you want to know everything about that company? Does that make sense? So that's where your qualitative research is going to understand what products they're doing, understand their vision, their mission, right? Understand what products are they making today or services they're offering today that might solve a potential future issue. Does that make sense? So this is qualitative research, that you're going to want to do in that company, right? But you're right. To invest in stock, you first got to what? Sign up for a brokerage account. All right. So if you don't know that, right, there are different accounts that you have to sign up with, and you could pick a brokerage, right? TD Ameritrade. It's a bunch of them out there. Wells Fargo has some. Charles Schwab. There's a lot of them out there that you can sign up with a brokerage account. Okay, now the great thing about these websites is that when you sign up for them, they actually offer self education on their site. Okay, so you actually can plug into different videos they offer, right, about how to, choose companies, or, different mutual funds that are suggested. What are mutual funds? Mutual funds is just a collection of different stock within inside one fund, but they'll teach you all of that on the site. Okay. But if anybody on here is interested in investing in stock, that is a great way to begin investing. Okay. Now you just got to make sure you have that brokerage account. And again, if you got any questions about this stuff, we don't have much time. Definitely throw out there these questions at the end. Okay. So that's one area, that's one leg of investing. Okay. Let's talk about other things you can do. All right. You also have things like IRAs and Roth IRAs. All right. Now, what are these, right? Individual retirement accounts, right? Or a Roth, right, is a tax preferred individual retirement account. Now, I'm going to tell you something, right? I love the Roth, but we're going to talk about both. What are IRAs? If you've ever heard of them, you're trying to understand them, right? Number one, it gives you the ability, right, to put in pre tax dollars into the market, right? And take full advantage of the return on investment the market can provide, and you pay taxes on the money later. All right. Does that make sense? You pay taxes on the money later. Now, the simple IRA, it might be something for more of a business owner, right? But they call it a SEP. But what the IRA, right, gives you is just number one, that simple way, right? Of now you can set up IRAs without working, right? You can actually go to a brokerage account and set up an IRA, right? But here's the great thing about the Roth IRA, and it's going to bring up us to another thing. When you're investing, the one thing you got to also start taking into account, guys, is two things: taxes, all right, and inflation. You have to take those two things into consideration as well. All right. What do I mean? With a Roth IRA, right, it gives you the ability, right? It gives you the ability to invest with dollars that you've made, right, from your employer. So it's already been taxed, right? But now I can put this money into an IRA where it's going to take advantage of growing in the market. But guess what? When I pull the money out, I pull it out tax free because I've already paid taxes on it, right? So, right, what are some investments? I'm just going to throw these out there so you know, because as you're thinking about this plan you're putting together for investing, you also want to think about, okay, what are investment vehicles that not only will grow over time, but give me the ability to pull out money tax free because I've already paid on it now. Because who could take a guess? Put it in the chat. Do you think taxes more than likely are going to go up or down in the future? Right? Like, do you think taxes, right now, we don't know for sure, right? But historically, more than likely, taxes might go up in the future. So you don't want to put all of your money away in something that's going to be not taxed today, but taxed later. You want to also take advantage of some things that you're paying the taxes on it now in a potential lower tax bracket, right? And then as it grows later, you're not worried about what the tax rate is then, right? Especially if your income is going up higher. All right. So the IRA is another avenue that you can take, right? To put money away. It takes advantage of growth in the market, right? And then you can actually pull it out. Now, there are different requirements though, right? For the IRA, right? Understand that typically you can't pull that money out without penalty until 59 and a half. Okay. All right. So you will have to wait until 59 and a half to pull that money out. But I'm just giving you different ideas on vehicles that are out there that you can start doing your research. Okay. Now, the crypto
No, but
market.
before you minute, I know I wasn't gonna interrupt you, but so are you saying there's different type of IRA? Because I'm confused now. So you got IRA, Roth, and simple,
So
or
the
they're all the
simple is
same?
what you, yeah. So a SEP is something. I don't know. I couldn't read what you put in there. I apologize. A SEP is something that like a business owner that's like a self-employed, right? A self-employed individual. They can set up an IRA that's called a SEP. I didn't know if you were putting that in the chat, but the main two is an IRA and a Roth IRA. Those are the main two types of IRAs out there that you can do research on. All right. Now, I talked about taxes, right? Right. Start learning that, but also, guys, inflation. Please write this down. All right. If nothing else, write this down. Whatever you do in the investment world, right, you got to make sure your investments are outpacing inflation. Because if you got your investments growing at what, 5%, and then, right, your inflation is growing at at 8%, what is inflation? The rise in cost of products and services in our economy. But if that's rising at 8 or 9%, guess what? Your investments are still lagging. Does that make sense? Right? So you want to understand how to invest in a way where you also are taking that into account. Because I know y'all have seen, right, the rise in cost of goods and services, even right now in the past year, right? I know y'all feel it at the gas pump. I know me, I felt it in the grocery store, right? So we are feeling, right, the rise in costs, right? Exactly, right? Don't think that stuff like Ukraine and Russia don't have any effect on us. No, it does. It may not be knocking at our front door physically, but understand financially, there are going to be things that are going to happen that literally affect us, right? So you want to understand how that plays a part. So you're taking that into account in how you're choosing to invest, right? But I know that the biggest part of this conversation we were going to have were about two investments vehicles that I use today that I've actually coached Ms. Wilson on, pretty recently and pretty often. But it's cryptocurrency and learning the foreign exchange market, learning how to trade in the market. It's another way, right? It's a skill set that you can learn that satisfies two things. Not only does it satisfy the short term, meaning you can make money on a daily basis, but you can also satisfy the long term, right? Cryptocurrency over the course of an extended period, right, has shown more growth than most other investment vehicles in our economy, right? So it has an attractive long-term plan as well, but you can also make money in the short term with crypto by learning how to trade it, right? Does that make sense? And learning how to trade it allows you, right, a very positive thing. You can make money on it whether the value of it goes up or down, right? And that's the biggest benefit. Okay, this skill set is something that, listen, everything you're learning is a skill set, right? Learning how to pick stocks is a skill set. Learning how to analyze which accounts your IRA wants to invest in is a skill set. Okay, that's where it goes back to minimizing that risk, right? Financial literacy, financial education is what's going to help you minimize that risk. Okay, but we're talking about the types of income you want. IRA, stock, that's what? Portfolio income, right? But when it comes to passive income, right, that's a different side, right? That's a different area, you know, and things are happening at a fast pace right now. Trust and believe me. Your banks, they're doing this stuff. The banks are investing in crypto, they're investing in the foreign market, they're learning how to trade, but they trade our dollars, right? And if you don't know the system, you got to learn that, right? Systematically, banks make money off of us. That's how they make money. They make money by what? Raising capital, but their capital are bank deposits, right? That's their capital, and they invest it by doing what? They loan it out for loans, right? So they're charging 3, 4% on loans or mortgages or whatever, but they only give us back what? Less than a percent on our savings account. There's profit for them, but they also do things like invest in crypto and they learn how to trade it in this market. All right. But that's a skill set that you can learn. The foreign exchange market, you guys, is the largest liquid market in the world. It generates $7 trillion a day. Right. And you're talking about compounding interest, right? What's compounding interest, right? It's interest reinvested and just keep growing it over and over again. It keeps multiplying. Okay. But right, the trading aspects now gives you access to a opportunity to make right, 2 or 3% on your money every day, right? Not just per month, not just per year. Okay. All right. So we talk about this, and this is something that I believe you got to do, your research on as well. Okay. All right. So let us keep going with other types of things. Actually, you know what? I'll pause right there because I don't want to just keep talking, Miss Wilson. I don't know if you want to take a pause real quick. Let's see if there's any
That's
questions
fine.
right now.
That's fine. If you
Yeah.
want to have, you go
Let's
ahead and
and
flow
then
with
we
it because
can
it,
we can go back and forth, right? Because 15 minutes just may not be
yeah. I
enough
mean,
for
if you
questions.
want to break it
So
up per section, how you want to
yeah,
do stock or
yeah.
however you
Let's
want to do it,
let's
you
let's
got it.
stop right there because I've talked about IREs, I've talked about stock. I'm gonna go into a little bit more with crypto in a second, but are there any questions as of right now? Are there
Feel
any
free to take
questions
yourself off mute and
as of
ask.
right now on anything that I've shared?
Okay, well, since they're quiet, I have a question that somebody asked. Um, on the registration form, which was, what is a portfolio and how do you make it diverse?
Right. So, a portfolio is basically a collection of your assets, right? So that's a portfolio. So inside of your portfolio is all the actual assets or investments that you actually have, that you own, right? Maybe it's real estate, maybe it's stock, mutual funds, money market accounts, right? You know, a collection of your assets make up your portfolio. Okay. And the second part of that question was what, Ms. Wilson? Oh,
Um, how you make
diversification.
it diverse?
So there are different ways to diversify, right? I don't think there's just one way. Right? Diversifying could be one in just exactly what type of investments you have. Like, do you want all of your investments in real estate? Do you want them all in stock, right? Or do you want to diversify your money and have different types of assets that you invest in? That's one way of diversifying. Another way of diversifying is risk, right? Your risk tolerance, right, guys? Remember earlier I said that all of your money shouldn't be right in the market, right? There are different ways and formulas to use, but a formula that I learned a long time ago is that you can use your age, right, to define your risk tolerance. What does that mean? If I'm 41 years old, that means 41% of my money should be in more safe, guaranteed return investments. 59% should be in more of risk adverse investments, right? Or riskier investments in the market per se, right? That's one way you can diversify as well from risk. So that means that if I'm investing, right, a certain amount of money per month, I'm putting 41% of that in safer investments like money market accounts, like bonds, right? These are things that give a more guaranteed return. But then I'm taking the other 51% and I'm putting it into more riskier like stocks and mutual funds and the market, cryptocurrency and things like that. And if you think about it, that makes sense, right? Because the closer you get to retirement, right, you don't want yourself exposed to too much risk, right? Because you're getting closer and closer to that time where you want to lay it, you want to hang it up. You're trying to lead a work world, right? So that's another way of diversifying as well. The type of investments you're investing in versus some safe and some more your risk tolerance. Okay. But those are the two ways that I believe a lot of times are talked about when it comes to diversifying your portfolio. Just don't have all your eggs in one basket.
And I couldn't remember. I think when there was one of the other questions came up, I actually did some research about it when somebody mentioned like what's the suggested um what was the suggestion. I'm gonna find that and drop that in the chat. But I think I'm also on Robinhood, and those things do a lot of informal resource classes. And I think it was talking about some of the good ways to break it down is 35% US stocks. I think I put it, yeah, I did. I put it in the chat. 40% bonds, 10% short-term investment, and 15% in foreign stock. But however you kind of choose to put yours in. So I don't know.
I mean, I think, like I said, it's multiple ways you can do it. I mean, investing, right, is a very broad category, right? There are a lot of different opinions out there, and there are a lot of different ways to do it, right? I think it all starts with your goal, right? You guys, it starts with your goal, right? So, right, the investment plan that someone in their 20s might have is going to be a lot different than somebody who might be in their 40s or in their 50s,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then also it depends on what you're starting with, right? If you're not starting with much, then maybe you need to be a little more aggressive. So maybe the bonds or the money market accounts may not make sense for you because you need to build something or a nest egg pretty fast, right? So you're willing to take on more of that risk, right? Than somebody else. So I mean, it really is customized. That's why, honestly, with investing, you guys, I highly suggest, you having that counselor, right? Somebody to help you specifically with what your goal is, right? What your goal is, right? Because I can tell you, right? I talk to people that their goal is building capital. They want to build capital to start a business, right? That's their goal as it relates to investing. Some people's goal is just, listen, I just want to save for the long term. Some people say, I'm saving right now for a short term goal to what? To get a home, right? Like, there's a lot of different goals you have, but you got to know, right? You got to start with the end in mind, right? And then back into it, into determining what's the best way to get there, right? And a part of that is just knowing what vehicles are out there, and we're talking about them, right? The stock market, right? Learning how to buy stock or take ownership in companies. Okay, and let me share with you this, right? When it comes to stocks, you guys, they're not just one type of stock. There's multiple types of stock. The two main kinds are growth stocks, all right, and then dividend stocks, right? What's the difference? Growth stock is something that you're going to invest in and probably hold those over time, right? 10, 15 years, right? The goal for the share value to keep going up, right? And when it goes up, when you sell it, you profit from it, right? That's a growth stock, right? In layman's terms. But a dividend stock is a company who literally pays a dividend on their stock every quarter, every half year, every year, right? So dividend stocks are something that what can generate income for you, right? These are income stocks because that dividend is something that's paid out to you. The company is paying a dividend, right? Per the shares that are outstanding on their stock. So, guys, it's I mean, we can talk all day about this stuff, but I definitely am trying to hit on different avenues so that you can get kind of a taste of what's out there in the market. Y'all, cryptocurrency, I truly believe, is the future, right? I believe that if you're not investing in cryptocurrency, you need to learn. Okay, you got to understand that when it comes to digital currency, what was the purpose of it, right? The purpose was decentralization, right? It's removing the middleman from, right, how we do business, how we transact in our economy. All right, when you make a purchase today, typically that purchase is being verified by the what? By the bank before it goes to what? The company you're spending that money with, right? So there's somebody verifying. There's always a middleman, right, within the centralized banking system. Cryptocurrency was created to decentralize it. It's a peer-to-peer system, right? Right. So it's peers that are verifying these transactions through a technology called blockchain. Blockchain records, right, all the Bitcoin, all these transactions that are happening within the crypto space, right? So, right, how does that fare against the dollar? Overall, they say that if the dollar value drops, cryptocurrency typically, I'm not saying for sure, but typically has an inverse relationship. It's going to go up. Okay. Now, yes, is it fluctuating? Absolutely. It's fluctuating, right? The value of Bitcoin right now is sitting around about 40, 39,000, but its high was about 67,000 a coin, right? And you have the ability now to invest in something that literally I've seen growth happen in cryptocurrency where it took a 10% growth in 1 week, right? And it's bigger than Bitcoin, right? It's so many other ones out there. You got Ethereum, right? You got XRP. There are a lot of other cryptocurrencies out there, but really taking time to learn this space is big. Why? Because if you're looking for immediate impact, right? If you're looking for something that says, listen, I got $1,000, how can I flip this thing quickly, right? You're looking for short-term growth. Cryptocurrency is a phenomenal place to be. Learning how to trade it, right, is a phenomenal place and a phenomenal skill set to learn, right? I have students in my program, right, that literally they'll put, $100 in their account and they have flipped it to over $5,000 in a matter of 3 hours. Why? Because they now learned the skill, right, in this market. And it's growing, guys. NFTs, right? Non fungible tokens, right? Being able to buy certain NFTs and being able to buy it for 300 and flip it for a 500% return within months, right? But again, it all goes back to that goal, right? Is it long term or is it short term, right? Right? That's really the goal. But the most important thing is beginning to educate yourself, right, about these avenues. All right, it's beginning to educate yourself, and Miss Wilson is doing a phenomenal job, which I love, in dropping some links in the chat to give you some reference to these things, right? Because if you just want to talk Bitcoin, we can stay here for an hour. I can stay on stocks for an hour, right? But right, the first thing is that, okay, let's start here. We're giving you we're giving you a high level view of what's out there. Okay, are there any apps you would suggest to learn to invest using cryptocurrency? I would say a few things. One, and I'm gonna give you all angles, right? Because I'm transparent. One, the first place I would probably start is more so like YouTube. That's a place you can go to. I'm giving you options now, just options. Number one would be YouTube. Okay, all the information is out there on YouTube. But here's the challenge with YouTube: anybody can potentially anybody can represent themselves as an expert, right? But there are a lot of YouTube channels out there that people are talking about crypto and learning, right? I can tell you the platform I use. All right, the platform I use and the platform that Miss Wilson used. Um, okay, all right. Well, Crypto Casey. All right, so we'll go with that. All right, so Crypto Casey, she just dropped the info as well, Brian Jung. So I would start there, and utilize those individuals. I don't know if you have links to there, Miss Wilson, but I would drop the links to those individuals. But they must be YouTube. But that's a great place to kind of start, getting that education, on the space. Great question, Miss Deborah. Great question.
And I think she probably also was probably talking about some apps, sort of maybe like Robinhood, Stash, things like that.
Yeah, so I mean, me personally, I mean, they're great to invest. I don't know how great they are to learn, right? That's the thing.
Well, I am on Robinhood and Stash. I
Hmm.
also have Coinbase for my crypto. And what I have found is that Robinhood to me has way more educational resources than Stash. I love Robinhood. I'm always on Robinhood and their resources, but um, YouTube is great, but I love that. I even put in that at babypips.com. I've heard about that as well.
Babypips.com is a great place to start in terms of learning how to trade. I used it. I would say though that Baby Pips is very technical based. It doesn't really help you understand, the players in the market, right, and the nuances, that really how technical analysis may not help you over time, right? So, but Baby Pips is a great place to start though, in terms of learning the foreign exchange market. Absolutely, ma'am, and learning how to trade it. Yep. So that's a great place to start. I would say though that the one thing about the foreign exchange market, is that the technical analysis is great. It'll get you so far, but you really be got to get to learn, how the major players play in the market, how the banks play in the market, right? How the big corporations play in the market, right? How they move the market, and sometimes baby pips won't go that route, but it's great to learn technical analysis. Absolutely. Any other questions? So that's a great question right there, Andrea. So first and foremost, as it relates to the crypto accounts getting hacked, first you want to understand how to set up your crypto account properly, right? So the first thing you would want to do is you would not want to use your regular Gmail account associated with the crypto account, right? So if you're talking about Coinbase or anything like that, don't use your regular email, right? Use an encrypted email account, right, to be able to set that up. Yes, ma'am. Oh, you say something, Miss Wilson?
No, I'm just saying you hitting the spots. And when I'm telling
Oh,
you, Go
Yeah,
that
so you
crypto,
want
and
to,
that's how I first got mine started with that crypto. Casey, she went through. I had never heard of Proton Mail before, but she talked about how to get set up with the Proton Mail encrypted account.
yeah, yeah, you want to get a Proton Mail account, which is a free email account. That is a free email exchange, but it's a crypto, it's an encrypted email, right? So that's the first thing you want to do. The second thing you want to do is know how to store your crypto. All right. So you got hot storage, you got cold storage, right? A lot of people will buy their coins on Coinbase.com, put the app on their phone, and that's it, right? But you really want to be moving your coins over to some type of secure wallet, right? So when you buy the coins, move them to a wallet, and you don't have to have a hot wallet, meaning that it doesn't have to be stored via the internet. You can buy cold storage, right? There's something called a nano ledger, right? Write that down. A nano ledger. That's an actual, mine is upstairs, but that's an actual physical device, right? That you can move your crypto to. Okay, but it's cold storage, right? So therefore, it's a little bit harder to access it or hack into it, right? Right. Number one. Number two. Number three, I highly suggest people not having their wallets downloaded to their phone. If you lose your phone, guess what you lose? You lose potentially access to that. All right. So I highly suggest people setting up that stuff on their computers. Okay. That's another thing. All right. But there are ways, right, to learn about this stuff. Now, the Ponzi scheme situation, here's the deal. Okay. Right. The great thing, the thing about the Ponzi scheme is that there, unfortunately, when there's something hot, which crypto was really starting to get hot, unfortunately, you got a lot of people that'll go into your inbox and they'll go into your inbox on Facebook and Instagram saying, listen, right, if you give me $2,000, I'll invest it for you in crypto and guarantee you an X amount of return. Okay. So absolutely, there's people out here doing that, but you can't take that and judge it on the space, right? The space as a whole is very real. It's not a Ponzi scheme. But what happens is you got people taking advantage of the space, right? And making up things, right? And trying to get over on people. Okay. So in essence, what you just got to do is understand that if somebody is telling you, give me $3,000 and I'll invest it in Bitcoin, that should be a red flag, right? You don't need that because you can do it yourself, right? All you just need is the guidance, right? And the education to know what, how, and where to put it, right? Right. And that's where you go out there and find these resources. Like I was saying, my resources, I am Academy, and it's done me very well over the last 2 years. But there are a lot of resources out there that you can learn from to really take advantage of the space. Right. What other questions does anybody have?
And if we don't have any more questions, if you want to transition into the I Am Academy part of it, we could go ahead and do that.
Oh yeah, sure. So for people who are looking to learn, about crypto, you're looking to learn. I can't share, ma'am. You got to make me co-host, I believe, to share. But for anybody who is looking to learn about crypto, you're looking to learn about this space of trading, learning how to analyze the charts, right? I'll show you this first. Because most people, when they see what I'm about to show them, they're looking at it like, oh man, that just looks like a freaking right EKG machine, right? I don't understand it, but I'll show you this, right? Because let's do this, right? If anybody can see my screen, right, this is actually the market, right? No matter what you invest in the market, it comes with some type of chart, right? And what is this chart is just basically price, right? Whether you're investing in stocks in Apple, Google, Microsoft, whether you're investing in Bitcoin, Ethereum, right? It doesn't matter. It comes with a price, and there's a chart associated with it that you can learn how to analyze, right? And here's the phenomenal thing about learning this stuff. When you learn about how to know when price is going to go up or down, think about how powerful that makes you as an investor, right? Because if you learn this, guess what? Now, if you are buying stock, you know when to wait to get in, because what's the purpose of buying stock? You want to buy low and sell high, right? So you would begin to learn exactly the floors or when the value is going to drop down to a point to get you in the right area, right? What about trading? Trading, right? Learning this can now allow you to know when the what price is going to go up or down. Let me give you an example, you guys, because this actually happened. Okay, this is Ethereum right here. Now I remember this drop. When this drop took place, I was in this drop. Now most people know when you invest, I only make money when the market goes up. But no, when you learn the skill set of trading, you can make money when the market's going down. Right? It's based on how many points it dropped. I put in a sell order, guys. On this drop, I made $700 in one day, right? And the great thing about it is I wasn't sitting at my computer. Like I was out with my wife. I just put the order in and let it do what it did. It made its move. It credited my account, and I could get access to that money within minutes, right? So that's a skill set. But everything's comes with a chart. All right. What we do at I Am Academy is we teach you how to learn it, how to read it, so it makes you that much stronger as an overall investor. We'll teach you about how to trade. We'll teach you about, right, how to know what cryptocurrency or what coins to invest in. Make sure there are no questions coming out. Oh, no, no, that's you, Miss
That's
Wilson.
me.
That's you.
When you mentioning
Yeah.
something, I'm dropping stuff in it rather
I
than
got
what
you.
you.
So we teach this, right? This is what we do. So, as Mrs. Wilson was saying, this is just an option for everybody. If you like it, cool. If you don't, no problem. But we wanted to give you an option because I Am Master Academy, right, is an online tool that helps you learn the largest markets in the world, right? One being crypto, and we simplify it, right? A lot of times I feel people don't get started with investing because it's just too freaking much. It's too much. Like it's too many places I could go. Yahoo, Google, YouTube, everywhere, right? Even on Instagram, everybody wants to be an expert, right? So with so many options out there, right? Where can I go to one place, right, and follow a system that will teach me? Okay, so this is the one I chose, right? And I did them all. I know Ivan mentioned babypips.com. You mentioned the book, the you mentioned a book in there. I can't go back and find it, but you mentioned some great resources, man. I've done a lot of different resources out there, but this one for me, I found the one that was easiest to understand, simple, and easy to follow. Right? All of their education is videos. All right. So just like you're watching me, all the education is videos. Like you were watching the Wall Street Trapper earlier, right? We have a system that basically walks you from A to Z to understand this market, right? Now, going back to the question, why would I want to learn Forex, right? Why would I want to learn this stuff, right? Because it does. It satisfies two things. Can you make money quickly? Absolutely. Right? I told you I made $700 in a couple of hours, right, in one day. You can make money quickly, all right? But it also teaches you about how to analyze the market, right, to set yourself up with the right long-term investments too, right, in certain coins and crypto or stocks or whatever the case might have you. Okay, so the first part of the program is just education. We teach it based on videos, right? We have different programs, right? You just saw Forex. This is digital currency. So the digital currency program, there's different educators that you learn from. 7 days a week they go live. They basically break down the space. They teach you about everything in the market. They even go. We
You
have an
froze.
NFT.
Okay, you froze for a minute.
We good?
We hear you now.
Okay. We have an an NFT boot camp that'll teach you about NFTs. I don't know if anybody is up on that or heard of it, but I got a couple of buddies, man, who have literally, right, just went from two figures to six figures in a matter of months just by buying and selling NFTs, right? It's a huge opportunity right now, right? You probably have heard about it, right? Different artists out there, right, releasing their albums via NFTs, right? It's a big thing right now, right? But we teach that and we'll educate you on how to learn it. We also talk about the metaverse in our platform, right? We all know that Facebook changed their name to Meta, but we talk about the metaverse and what that means as it relates to being able to make money in this digital realm, right? You guys, man, it's crazy how you got literally people buying and selling real estate in the virtual world, right? I just heard about the other day somebody sold some virtual real estate for millions of dollars, right? I'm not talking about somewhere you can step your foot in on. No, I'm talking about you got to put the Oculus on, and it's in the virtual world, and they sold it for millions of dollars, right? But we teach about this, right? And we'll educate you, on how to be able to do it, and how to take advantage of it. But that's our academy. We also have the mentorship in our program. You can actually learn from people who are doing this full time, right? They're teaching, nonstop. These are folks who have developed, multi-million dollar portfolios in this space, and they're coming back, giving back, and they're teaching. You can actually talk with them as well, right? So some of my favorite educators, Curtis Cobain, Crypto Picasso, in the crypto space, you can ask them questions while they're teaching, right? So this goes back to that question I think somebody asked earlier, like, what can I use to help learn, right, and guide me in this space, right? This is a great platform to do so. And we also have tools that will literally find profitable trades for you. Okay, so what are the tools for, right? The tool is for if there's anybody on this call that says, listen, I'm in a space right now where, yes, I want to learn how to invest, but I also want to kind of get moving fast, right? I need somebody to kind of give me some ideas that are going to flip into some money for me ASAP while I'm learning, right? I just don't want to learn and not make money. I want to learn whilst making some money, right? That's what our tools are for. Um, they send out different trade ideas, different investment ideas, and literally they're going to help you make money in the market while you're learning this stuff for yourself. Okay. I take trades from our programs. We have over like 10 products, but I take trades from them, and I do well with them. Are they all accurate? No, there's no investment that's perfect. If anybody tells you that, they're lying, right? But they have a high accuracy rate. I would say anywhere from about 70 to 73% of the trades and the ideas that come out are profitable. Which is it's pretty high, considering. All right. Great question. Is the training free? You got two options. One, and Ms. Wilson will tell you, when I do my trainings, I open them up to everybody, right? I don't care, so I'll do them, but I only do them maybe like once a week, once every other week, kind of breaking down the market. But for our platform, the platform is a charge. So I know Ms. Wilson mentioned one earlier. Ours is 185 to get started. Um, I do. My man Ivan, he already in the program. I've used it, bro, but I don't use it now. If you know Oren Wright, that's my guy. That's how I trade. So I'm an Oren Wright guy. But colors, man, Dr. Spiller, man, he's a goat in the platform. But I will say this: a lot of new people come in using colors. A lot of new people because it's so easy, right? Because you just line the colors up and you take the trade, right? So a lot of new people use colors, just trying to come in. And the crazy thing about it is, man, colors has grown. So it was just regular trading, but now they got colors for binary option trading, right? So trading options as well as cryptocurrency, right? So now colors covers the whole gamut, man. But I'm sorry, y'all. I haven't mentioned one of the products that we have. But yeah, I like colors. Yeah, it's phenomenal. But it's 185 to get started in the program. I told Miss Wilson doesn't know this, but just because I want to help people out, for the first three people, I'm going to actually give an additional I'm so, yeah, no, sorry, $50. Sorry, $50 too. So it'll go down to one. Y'all don't actually do math on a Saturday. 135.
135.
There you go. To get started. And then there is a monthly tuition if you choose. The monthly tuition, you guys, is 175 a month. If you choose to keep it going after 30 days. And then from there, there's a way to get it free. If you don't want to pay, but you know two people, you can refer two people or refer people to the program. If two people become involved, your monthly tuition is free. Okay. So phenomenal program. And this is just one, okay? Understand that Ms. Wilson just wanted to put options in front of you, right? She shows you the one option with the Wall Street trapper, you know, that's an option. You know, this is another option, you know, and it takes it a step further. Not only are you going to get the learning, but you're going to get guidance on helping you make some money while you're learning.
And I
And
will
you,
say, no, but I just want to chime in. And I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm going to compete and talk about this, but I wanted to do it in the fact of also introducing that fact of the Wall Street trap, because a lot of times we want to do stuff and be mentored by people who look like us and who done been through what we've been through. So that's why I love the Wall Street trapper, because he done been locked up. He know the challenges of what we did. However, and I know a lot of folks saying, well, I just do the cheaper thing and just do the Wall Street chapter. Yeah, I got it at a discount. And I did get it for $97. And it is a class, like you said, when you came in and you saw me watching it, I can watch it at my leisure. It never expires. However, the only thing I do not, and that's the only reason I've continued to invest in I Am Academy, is because it is more than just going on a computer. We have trading calls throughout the week. Noble and I had a call with our team with Sunday, Friday night. If you watch my Facebook page, I tell people now Facebook is being me sitting up watching Netflix on a Saturday, honestly, has been replaced with me learning how to trade. And I get excited knowing that I can use this little tool with this fake money and can put, you know, I think what am I trading with, Noble? Like a penny. And I turn around and wake up the next day and it's up to $75. And it ain't been 24 hours yet. So just imagine I was using my real money. I like the fact that they're human people. We have these groups that we are actually going in. We have Monday motivation calls. It is well worth it. And when people say, well, I don't want to pay for something, I think had I done this 10 years, and that was my excuse, the fear of missing out 10 years ago. Had I saved and put $200 in Netflix 10 years ago, I probably would be have $250,000. But because I didn't want to do or was too scared of doing stuff. And what I chose to do is to help with my money. I mean, to get towards it is I no longer buy 3 packs of cigarettes a week. I buy 1 pack. And the $20 that I save on the 2 packs, that is $80 a month that I have saved. So that goes towards helping me what I really want to do. So I don't want it to be a discouragement because there is a monthly fee, but we make it a point to spend money on gym memberships we're not using, Netflix we're not using, to go on vacations that are probably miserable and horrible. I mean, so we just got to really figure out. But I think if you get in and you say after 60 days, 90 days, if it's something that you feel not worth, I said after 30 days, I'm like, I ain't paying for this. I'm gonna get out at 30 days. I'm on my 90 days now because it is really worth the investment. And so I feel like if I really get into it, and I think maybe in the next couple of weeks, because I've been playing with fake money now. I think in the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna actually try to really work on doing the real money because I feel like I've made enough fake money. I'm ready for the real money now. So it really is a good opportunity. And I think getting in now at a $50 discount is the best because thinking I didn't get no discount, I paid full price, but that's okay.
I think
So I
Ivan got a
appreciate it.
question, Miss Wilson.
Go ahead.
I think Ivan has a question. His hand is up.
Oh, okay. I appreciate it. No, it wasn't a question. I was just gonna like kind of piggyback on what she was saying as far as like the stuff that we spend money on, but we don't invest in ourselves. And a lot of people look at the different platforms and people asking, or you having to invest to get information. It's because like a lot of these, it's saving you a lot of work. So I just say, don't be scared to invest in yourself. And it's not easy. The consistency and being disciplined with it. Like it's not something that you're gonna snap your finger, understand everything overnight, and all of a sudden you're gonna be making money. It's just determine how disciplined you can be, and how much you want to be, how much you want it, and then being consistent. And like, whatever platform anybody chooses, just don't be scared to invest in yourself, man. Like, because we spend so much money on frivolous stuff and we don't invest enough in ourselves and read. How like even audiobooks, just the information that you take in can be beneficial for you. Like we spend so much time watching TV, vegging out on series, and you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, invest that time and energy into your own growth, and eventually you'll see some results. So that's what I'm working toward myself.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to add that.
I appreciate that, man. Time is a new currency, guys. It really is, and how you invest it has a direct correlation, on our life. It's crazy. I'll be in conversations with my fellas, and they can tell me everything there is, about power. They can tell me everything it is, what's going on, but I'm sitting here talking about this, and it's like, man, we don't know nothing about that. And I'm like, well, if you got time to watch power, I hear echo. Yeah, echo. But no, I mean, if you have time, right, you gotta utilize your time appropriately. If you want that change, understand it's all about what you do with the time. Like Ivan said, being consistent with it. This platform, I'm the first to tell you, you're not gonna come in and get rich overnight. Hello, yeah, you're not gonna come in and get rich overnight, right? Because you got to learn. Like it's a process,
Mhm.
right? It's a process, But at the same token, if you do it right, right, think about it like this, right? I started this program in 2019, right? Didn't know nothing about trading. I just knew that what I was doing was getting me nowhere near where I wanted to be, right? My buddy Ty Williams started with me. Me and him started together. He's a DC police officer, but we started together. And this gentleman, literally, he took it and ran with it, right? Now, granted, he studied 4 hours a day. Now, a lot of us may say, I don't know about that 4 hours a day. That's a lot to be in the computer. But let me ask you a question. Would you do it if 13 months later you were able to have a $150,000 day in the market? Would that 4 hours a day be worth it for 13 months? Because now this 45-year-old dude is retiring early because now he's making in one day what most people don't make sometimes in 2 years. Right? So it's give and take, right? But but yeah, I mean, again, there are a lot of programs out there. I just chose this one, because I saw not only is it me learning from the platform, but there was support, right? I could talk to somebody every day, and get my questions answered, versus just only listening in that one-way audio. Um, but any other questions? Any other questions about forex trading, crypto, stocks, IRAs? Anything investment wise. Any questions?
Is there anybody on the call who's interested in signing up for the IM Academy? Okay. And let me see if there was a few more questions. I did in the chat, as you all may have seen, while you may be coming up with some questions, I've dropped a lot of stuff. But if you want any of the information that we put in the chat, I will be more than happy to send you a follow-up email with some of these same resources that you can have. And that way, because I know a lot of folks wasn't able, but for those of you who are on the computers, if you would like to save your chat, if you're on a computer, you would go to the chat option and there's a little piece of paper, a happy face, and 3 dots. You would click that dot and you would click save chat, and everything that's been in the chat, you will be able to record. If you're on your cell phone, you would probably go to where it says more, and then I think in more it'll say give you an option to save chat, but I think usually with cell phones it does not. But if you don't have the option and you just want us to email you the resources we dropped in the chat, I put your email in the link and I will gladly send you a copy of the stuff that was in there. But please, just like Noble said, IM Academy is good, but please take advantage also of the resources that we drop, because all of those are resources that I've had to do. I did a full 2 months of research before I started investing.
And I would say, if nothing else, guys, the most important thing is no matter if it's $1, $20, $50, right? Just start investing somewhere, right? No matter where you are, right? Just start. It's one thing to get this information, it's another thing to apply it, right? So just do all you can to start applying the information, so that you can really start building, towards whatever goals you have for yourself.
I just wanted to say two of my stock picks that I'm actually finna get some more next week. is Meta, which is Facebook, because they're I feel like it's down, and Roblox. I feel like
I didn't do the
they're
Roblox
down.
before.
Yeah,
And
Roblox is good, bro. I like the Roblox one.
and well, see, my theory with Meta, just because I feel like they're going to be the forefront in that space as far as getting stuff situated. Now, it's not going to happen overnight, and it's tanked. You know, that stock is like tanked. I've it's lost
Yeah,
half of
well,
its
you know,
value.
most stocks have been tanking
But
lately. Yeah,
just to see the investment the big companies are putting, like they say, I think what JP Morgan or Chase, like they just actually opened up a bank in the metaverse. And then like you got Ralph Lauren that has now you can buy Ralph Lauren clothes, and they open up a Ralph Lauren store in Roblox. Like, so the investment of the big companies that's investing into this space, it makes me feel good about, you know, putting my money there, because it's not going to happen overnight, and it might not happen in the months to come, but eventually when that it expands, I feel like I'm going to have made good investments. So
good, bro.
Okay. And what I'll do too as well, I think I was looking at what it says studies show that the average person spends about 7 hours a day on social media. So that's a lot of time to just be doing nothing. And so what I am actually doing is there is a few of us who are all formerly incarcerated. We're doing, and since I was able to afford the class, what I'm going to do is with the Wall Street Trapper class is we're going to be going over it with a few things just to get the initial basics. And I definitely will make sure that you all are kind of kept in the loop of some things. And hopefully, if not this month, next month, with the great information that Noble showed you all for the program, that when you're ready, you will definitely let us know. Because I think it'll definitely be something good in getting in.
And I'll throw
I
this
think the
out.
last question we
Not
had,
not
Noble.
not to throw out. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Ms. Wilson?
I hear you.
Yeah, not to throw out anything particular, but if you are going to start doing research around stocks, I know this is something that I've started, because I'll be honest with you, I'm a trader at heart, crypto at heart. So I'm getting more to the stock game, know a lot about it. Just chose the avenue that I did. But the one thing that I know is that when it comes to the metaverse, when it comes to this VR space, there's some challenges, around it, in terms of different hardware needed to have different things happen, particularly in the home, and how to manage it a certain way. So any companies that are going to be building different products or services around supporting, right, the metaverse, like Ivan was saying, as far as Meta, those are some other companies as well. Like if you're looking for like IPO type companies, right, I will look for companies that are in that space that might be looking to take their company public, because I think that the metaverse is going to be the future. But if the company builds the right product that can take off in that space, and then they want to go public, that's going to be the company you're going to look for, right? So I know I'm starting to do research around those companies. So when I come across them, I'll definitely let Ms. Wilson know, so we can share that information out to everybody.
Thank you. And I guess we will get ready and go. And I think one person had a question for me privately. She said, what did you do as a beginner to decrease my chances of being risky? Okay. So what I had explained is I'm 46 and I just felt like investing was a young people thing. And I feel like I'm a little slower than everybody because they're talking about pips and candlesticks and, resistance and floor and support. So a lot of it was just really too much for me. But I know that with me, what I did is as a beginner, some people like to invest. Some of the tips that I would give is that some people like to invest in stock from individual companies. And I guess that's good for them. But since I'm a beginner and I didn't really know what to do, I wanted to invest in more companies at once. So I love investing in EFTs, which are the exchange traded funds, which is a group of multiple stocks that are usually in the same sector, such as tech and consumer staples and healthcare, fashion, energy, or S&P 500, which is a collection of some of the largely publicly traded companies. But one of my favorites is the weed industry. So for example, if you want to invest in cybersecurity stock, but you don't know which in particular to invest in, I would encourage, and that's what I did to lessen my risk. I would encourage you not to just pick a company and go with that company, I would choose an ETF, which includes you owning shares in multiple cybersecurity companies and gives you a wide range of investments in that company. So that's one of the tips that I tell for. I mean, I like doing the ones that's a group until I can learn how to spend some money. I mean, I may put $20 here, $50 here, $100 at the most, but that's usually what that's one of the things I do to lessen my chance. And I try to get, I wouldn't necessarily call them pennies, but I bought some stock, and I don't know about it, called Nubu Shuni. I only reason I bought it because there's a cute little dog on the coin. Nubu, what is it, Nobu? Nubu Ishu? Shubu Inu? And I bought it because it was like 5 cents a share.
You mean Sheba?
Shiba Inu, which they said it probably wasn't really good, but that one in Dogecoin or something. But all I saw was 8 cents a share. When I looked on there last I checked, Bitcoin was $36,000 for one share. Ethereum was like $6,000 a share. So I was like, okay, I'm going to pay 8 cents per share. I heard about like 200 shares. So I was like, what is that, $20? And I just, one of the things is too, don't invest what you cannot afford to lose. If you know you got $40 and you want to play around with a little $30, $40, and it's okay if you lose that $30, $40. It's the same thing when you loan to your family members or friends. Don't loan out what you can't afford to not get back. And I think that's the same mindset I had to do when I was going into to lessen my chance. I only play with $20, $30 here. So when I get a little something, I'd be happy with it. But so that's what I would do. So we don't have any questions. Y'all don't be scared. If not, we're going to go to, while I do that, ask a question. Anybody got any comments, any questions? I'm trying to look for this raffle thing. Okay. So what we will do is, I can't find it. So what I am going to do here is, I'm going to ask according to my screen. That's how I'm going to pick it out because I cannot find it. So left, right on my screen. So Noble, we have, Noble, can you pick number from 1 to 7? Well, somebody dropped off. So 1 to 6. 1 to 5, because we got a board member on here. Is that Kelton on the call? Oh, I think he dropped out. So we got 1. Yeah, just pick a number 1 to 6.
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. That is Shanitas Williams. That is the 4th person on my screen. So Shanitas Williams will receive a $25 vanilla card. I'll get it ordered and have it emailed to you. And I will personally, Noble said that if he would give a $50 discount, and for the other person, if there's anybody on this line that wants to take advantage to get started, the very, very first month is $185. Noble said he'll give you a $50 discount. If there's anybody that absolutely wants to get started, then I would throw in another discount. And you would be able to get started your first month for $100. So that would be an $85 discount if you just wanted to start your first month sign up for $100. If that's something somebody wanted to do. Okay. Okay. Well, we appreciate you, Noble, for taking your time out on this Saturday. For joining us. And I appreciate Ivan. I definitely need you to connect with me, Ivan, because you know a little something, you learning, and you know something, and I need us to connect. So definitely in that email or on our Facebook page, we are streaming live. Go to that New Life Second Chance Outreach Facebook page, send me a message, and so I can connect with you. All righty. Well, thank you all so much. I really appreciate you for joining us. And again, before I go, I'm going to drop the website of right now what we have coming up. I would like for you all to join us as well. We have on March 11th, those of you who are on the line who may want to be a published author, we will be having Taramika Williams, a young lady who is a dynamic writer. She's formerly incarcerated. She is going to be on the line on March 11th, explaining how to write your book, how to go from pain to profit, how to become a published author. And that's going to be on the 11th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on April 1st, we will be having an event that's going to be talking about it's going to address budgeting, banking, prioritizing, saving, understanding interest rates, understanding how your credit works, how to protect your credit, how to raise your credit score, credit debit, and that's going to be April 1st. And I tell people all the time my story on that. March of 2020, I had a 522. And last month when I looked at my stuff, I'm right at 7 something. And I did all of this myself and got it together. So that is going to be on there. And I'm actually going to drop the link for you all to join at our upcoming links, upcoming website to make sure you all get registered for those events. Please follow us on Facebook and on our social medias for our upcoming events, because all of our events are focused to assist individuals who are impacted by a criminal record, but they are free and open to the public. Thank you all so very much, and look forward to seeing you at our future events. And Shanice will make sure we get that email to you. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Shanita's called me.
Okay.
All right. As a matter of fact, you can stay on if you want.
Yes, ma'am.
Stay on, because I'm finna watch. Hold on. Let me stop.